Good morning. Welcome to our first ever Google Hangout. My name is Leslie Marshall, and I work with the digital agency representing Chinet. And with me is Miss Julie Stetzer, and she is the Director of Branded Paper and Plastic at Chinet. And also online with us, we have Mariah Leeson of Giggles Galore and Lindy Haas of Love This Day. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be dishing on what's happening with Chinet, what's been going on in 2015, and what's coming down the pipe in 2016, as well as just content creation, social media, blogger relations, and a little bit of everything in between. So we've got a lot to cover, and hopefully this will be a fun conversation for everyone. So we're going to first start with a little bit about Chinet. I know that some of you have worked with us in the past and some of you are new, so we just kind of want to give you a brief overview of our history, what we're about, and our target audience to see if it's really a fit for you and your blog. So Chinet is the #1 premium disposable tableware maker, and we are owned by Huhtamaki and headquartered in the Heartland. We're actually right outside of Kansas City in DeSoto, Kansas. So we are in the Midwest, and we've been proudly making Chinet branded plates since the 1930s. So we've been around for a while, right, Julie?
We have. Our headquarters is in Espoo, Finland, and we are in 36 countries. We make all of the Chipotle bowls, if you ever go there. Those are made out of newspapers, and we make those. We make probably 75% of the ice cream containers in the country. We make things for Starbucks, McDonald's, everything for Subway. So while you don't necessarily touch a Chinet product every day, 1 in 6 people around the world touch a Huhtamaki product every day. 1 in 6.
Wow, that's
crazy.
That's a big stat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So Chinet is obviously everywhere, and a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is the consumer products. So when you think about your paper plates, and we have some other fun new products that we're going to talk about, but our main audience, target audience, is the millennial mom. So female around 30 to 50 is kind of our sweet spot. Yes. And she's very into entertaining, loves to host, is the cook in her family. So she kind of wears many hats, so to speak, especially when it comes to homemaking and entertaining. So as we mentioned before, it's been a busy year for Chinet, and we have a couple new products that we want to talk about. The first being Cut Crystal, which is our clear tableware collection. And Julie has a few samples with us.
We have a 7-inch dessert plate, and we have a dinner plate, and we have 2 cups, a 9 and a 14-ounce tumbler. This last year we came out with this Cut Crystal cutlery, and this actually was designed. I designed this actually. I did, because I think well, what do I want to put my silverware in if I'm hosting people? Like, oh, I don't have a basket or whatever. So I wanted something where you could just literally take off the lid, place it on your table. It's not branded here, and not be embarrassed.
Yeah,
and then
it's
another,
convenient.
and it's like some of the ones that have boxes, you have to shake them out and touch all of the forks and stuff. So I wanted to make sure that that was not the case with this one. So this really was sort of born out of a necessity. We knew we were going to get into cutlery, but I said, well, how can you store it better and how can you serve it better? Yeah. So that's how that came to be.
And my favorite new product that we have is the stemless wine glass, for any of you wine enthusiasts out there.
Yeah.
I think it's a great collection piece, and very convenient. So.
Yeah, and this probably took 3 years to make.
Wow.
We started it was in 3 different countries having this produced, but really the reason why we did it is we had a 9-ounce. We have a 9-ounce, which is kind of squatty, and then we have a 14-ounce, and we didn't really have anything for wine. And you can get disposable wine glasses, but they're made out of really thick plastic, and they're not necessarily disposable because they retail about $3.99 each if you went to like Target or Pier 1, and those are great. So we wanted something that was easily accessible at retail and club. So we have an 8-pack, and then we have a 24 and 36-pack at club, and these are disposable. They're great for other things besides drinking. You can put flowers in them to decorate, but this is the only disposable stemless wine glass on the market. It's
That's awesome.
Very difficult to make because of the rounded shape. Yeah.
I can tell. So can you just talk a little bit about what goes into your innovation process? So when you're designing or coming up with the cutlery or the wine glass, kind of what goes into that process?
Well, and this is a very stagnant, mature category. And honestly, it's not a destination category. I mean, you have to go to the store to get toilet paper and milk, and you can wash your own dishes. I mean, these are nice to haves. They're not necessarily need to haves. Yeah. So we make the Chinet white paper plate, so we wanted to elevate it. So about 7 years ago, we came out with the cup crystal for the person who wants to entertain just a slightly more premium and not have to do your own dishes. And so we first came out with cups, and then we added plates, and we added cutlery, and we said we want to be a one-stop shop. And we've done a lot of market research and focus groups that tells us that 75% of women want a coordinating set. So we're like, okay, well then there's nothing else to do but a wine glass. And we may come up with something else, serving platters that may be on the table for the next couple of years. But really we just wanted a convenient one-stop shop for our consumer to entertain.
That's great. That's great. And then the second new product that we came out with in 2015 is the Chip and Dip Party Tray, which is great. I love chips and salsa, so it's been a favorite product of mine. Can you tell us a little bit about this and what went into it? Yeah,
we also make plastic. We make primarily plastic in private label, so a store brand. So if you go to Walmart, we make that for them. Or if you go to Costco, we make the Kirkland signature. We don't have a lot of branded products in Chinet plastic, so we thought, well, let's do something different. Again, we did focus groups, and people said, I want a chip and dip. I would like something that's disposable. I don't want to take it and worry about it and clean that out and get it back to me. So we designed this, and this was in conjunction. This probably was about maybe 2 years to market. It takes a while from concept to finally getting it to market. It's microwavable.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The great thing about this is you can also use it for other things besides that. And quite honestly, people wash it out. It's a 2-pack, but it's heavy enough plastic that you absolutely can wash it out and reuse it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know I've used it for popcorn and putting some sweet and salty snacks in it. So it's been a great product.
Have you reused it?
I haven't, because I know that it is disposable.
Right, so. It is definitely disposable. And I want people to throw it away, but I'm saying it's heavy enough that you actually could.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I like about all of the Chinet products is that a lot of them can serve a dual purpose. It's not just for eating. You can use them for crafts or DIY projects. And I know that Lindy and Mariah have both used Chinet for various projects that they've done. Lindy, do you want to talk about a little bit about how you use Chinet and what you enjoy using it for besides eating, for those types of fun extra projects?
Sure, I'd love to. So I started working with you guys about, I think, 3 years ago, and it's just been a great relationship ever since. I think one of the first projects I did was for a watermelon party for my daughter, and using the classic white plates, I made watermelon purses. Like, I cut them in half, glued them together, painted them, and they still have been like one of my #1 posts on my blog. So Chinet is great for crafting as well. And then I've also, one of my other really popular posts with Chinet are the lights that I glittered. I put a hole through the Chinet plastic cup, put Christmas lights through it, and glittered around the cup. And so you can string, the cups, and they're glittered, and they turned out fantastic. So those are just a few things I've done with Chinet.
Yeah, those are great. I love those glitter cups. They've been super popular on our website, and I've even tried to make them myself, and they definitely aren't super easy, but it's definitely doable. So it took me a few tries.
It's messy though. Like it's a really messy craft.
Yeah, yeah. Mariah, how about you? Do you want to talk a little bit about how you use the product?
Sure. I too have been working with Chinet for about 3 years, and I think that one of the things I love is I entertain all the time. So I like being able to have options. The clear cut, glass cut products are probably my favorite, simply because I can customize them any way I want. One of my most popular projects is a tailgating post I did, and I just took the little cups, I punched a hole in them, and tied little football whistles to them, and then I served celery and carrots with ranch, and it was you could carry it, you could walk around, you could mingle, but then it was also just a fun little touch. It wasn't just a boring cup with celery in it, because that's no fun. But I use them all the time to personalize for all different types of parties. I use the plates, and I'll put vinyl on them to serve as chargers, so people have, and place cards, so people have, where they're supposed to sit and things like that. And then again, the napkin folds are probably one of my other favorites. I love doing those. I just created a ghost napkin fold, and it was a huge hit at my kids' Halloween party, so lots of fun.
Yes, we know the napkin folds are ridiculously popular, and that's great. You guys have worked with us in such a variety of ways, from the napkin folds to larger entertaining pages. I know both of you have your own section on our current website, and we're really excited because in 2016 we're going to be launching a storefront. Our website is getting a makeover, and that was one of the big reasons for why we wanted to host this, was because there's going to be so many more opportunities for us to engage with our bloggers and online influencers, because as most of you know, it is a content-driven world, and I think that is what we're most excited about, because I know that is what the consumers want, but it's also what our retailers want, right, Julie?
Yes. When we decided to overhaul our website, which we had not done, we launched the website 8 years ago. I like to say we were the last company in America to have a website, but we were. And so since then, we've modified it a little bit, but not a lot. But our agency, MBB, has done a great job of interviewing people, having stakeholder interviews to say, what's most important to you from a consumer standpoint, from what are you looking for, what kind of content, and what pages are of interest to you, and is finding a store locator interesting. So we just decided to totally revamp it, and we're finding out that content is king. About 2 months ago, I went and visited all the major retailers around the U.S. with our sales team, and every one of them was like, what kind of content can I have? I need content for my website. I need recipes. I need entertaining tips. So the retailers are even looking at it, and I was with the Safeway VP this week, and he's like, if you have content, people will come. And so that's what they're looking for. And we know that people are looking for aspirational, yet attainable, entertaining ideas and recipes.
Yeah, and I think that's really where we can leverage our relationships with our online influencers, because you guys are so great at creating things. I mean, talking about the football cups and the glitter lights, like those are great ideas that we definitely are always looking for that fresh content, because it's not just for our website. We can really expand that across all of our properties, even into the retailers, which is a new avenue and a new space for us, and probably for some of the bloggers as well. So now we're going to give you a little sneak peek. Hopefully the share screen works out okay, but we're going to give you a sneak peek at what the new website is going to look like and what the blogger section is going to look like. Again, this is still, we're still working through a few kinks and getting through development, so it's a process, but we definitely wanted to share this with you guys. So just one moment. So this is what the homepage will look like, and as you'll see, there's a great place for us to showcase the product, but below that is the What's New section, and that's really where we're going to be focusing on some of that product that our online influencers give us. So it's going to be a great place to showcase your work on the homepage, and then up here at the banner, we'll be switching out that imagery and that photography with content as well. So there's a lot of opportunity to showcase your work. And we have another more detailed page that I'm going to switch gears to. Oh, it's not showing up. Well, sorry about that. When I follow up with, oh, here it is. Sorry. So here you'll see trending at the table. There will be another banner spot to showcase the content, but then below a featured post, and then getting more granular by filtering through recipes and ideas and crafts. So we think it's going to be a great place to showcase your work, and we're really excited about it and are looking forward to opportunities that we might have together. So now we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about blogging and kind of what's happening in the blogosphere. And I know Mariah and Lindy, you guys have been doing this for a while, and so you guys have kind of been part of this evolution of kind of starting as maybe more of an online scrapbook, place to house your ideas, to really becoming an extension of marketing campaigns, being very integrated with brands. Mariah, do you kind of want to touch on that for a little bit? You know, talk about how blogging has changed over the years for you.
Sure. You know, when it first started out for me, I started as just a place for me to go and kind of have a reprieve from having 2 new babies at home and a toddler and sharing my creative ideas. But now it really is a full-blown business, and I treat it like that. And I've seen a lot of change happen as we've been blogging. It's always started out, though, as a community and a place for people to go and share their ideas. And I still believe that blogging is a community. It's a place for brands and bloggers, influencers, you know, consumers to come together to share ideas, to be able to find content, to be able to find ways to integrate and make those things happen in their home. I really feel like, you know, as a blogger, one of the great things is that I have the opportunity to share my life and what we're doing to create extraordinary memories here in our own home. But they're really simple ideas, like turning the cups into a way to have a fun movie night and popcorn. It's simple, but it's giving people ways to really make memories, especially in this fast-paced society that we're living in these days.
Absolutely. And I know social media has been really huge to the change in how you guys distribute your content. You know, it's no longer just your website. You have all these other channels to push your content out through. Lindy, do you want to talk about how you have used social media, you know, as to gain exposure with your content?
Sure. So when I first started blogging, it was pre-Pinterest, pre-Instagram. Facebook was kind of king for social media, and so you kind of just created beautiful content and hoped it would get shared on Facebook. But now with all these new social media sites, you really have to think even before creating your post or your content, like how are my Instagram followers going to respond to this? How are my Facebook viewers going to respond to this? How will this get shared on Pinterest? Will my Snapchatters like to be involved in this process? And so social media is kind of everything, and so it's definitely the framework for how I create my content now.
Yeah. And I know part of that too is also video. Have you guys either of you, have you been experimenting with video? I know my social channels, especially Facebook, you know, there's always all these recipe videos and how-to and really quick and easy digestible videos. Have you guys been using those at all?
Yeah, I have. I find that video, like, so there's a statistic out there that there's people watch 66 minutes of online videos a day. So if you think about that, that's a lot of information that's being consumed by video. And there are over 8 billion views on videos on Facebook. So I saw that as an opportunity to get my content out there and seen more. So I am working on creating videos. And so like Lindy said, when you start to create a project, you really have to think from the very beginning, like, how's this going to work? So when I start to create a project, I start to think, will this do well on video? Can I create a quick 30-second clip for this recipe that I'm creating that will give people an instant way to see that those stuffed mushrooms are the best appetizer you have to serve at your party? So I am really working through and trying to, but if you think of the statistics of how much is being consumed, you're really missing out if you're not a part of it. And then with things like Periscope and Meerkat, it's an easy way for people to enter that space and create videos without having to invest a lot of time or money.
Yeah, I know oh, sorry, Lindy, did you have something to add?
No, I was just going to add to Mariah. I think Snapchat and Periscope have provided a really great opportunity for brands like Mariah and I to kind of get behind our brands, have people be a part of our creative process, and we can kind of really show them how we created it in a real authentic way. It's not edited, it's live, it's raw, and our readers really respond to that. So if you're not on Periscope, you're not on Snapchat, it's probably a good idea to start thinking about it. So.
Have you been seeing a lot of success with your Snapchat? Like what types of content are you pushing out through it? Is it just behind the scenes, or are you guys doing specific recipes and crafts, I guess?
So I'm more on Snapchat than I am on Periscope because it seems a little more authentic to me, and it's not as scary for some reason. Periscope seems a little nerve-wracking to me. But I just show my life, and okay, this is what my table really looks like right now, and I'm creating this craft. Anyone can do it in the mess that you're in with your kids screaming in the background. It's just really authentic, and so I think people respond to that.
That's great.
Yeah, and I'm actually the opposite. I use Periscope more, so I need to trade notes, right? But again, it's an authentic way to show people what's really happening and how you're really using the product or what your everyday life is like. I think people are really looking to make those connections. Again, it comes back to blogging started out as a community, and people are really looking to engage and be a part of that community.
Absolutely. So what trends are you guys expecting to see in 2016? I know, Snapchat and Periscope were kind of the start at 2015. What do you guys see happening next year?
So I think, and I mean, this is just hearsay, who knows if it will really happen, but I think that the Periscope and Snapchat will start seeing it integrated into your blog. So, and I think the people behind blogs will kind of come forward and be more the face of their brand. You're kind of seeing that trend, and I think that will become more and more popular because everyone wants to see the person behind the cute craft. But sometimes we're scared because we're in our sweats and we don't want to, see the no makeup, and so that's what I think will happen. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that we're going to start to see, or some of the things you guys have talked about as well, is that content co-creation is going to be king. So it won't just be about me posting on my blog anymore. It will be about true partnerships with brands and working with companies to really help them leverage their goals of driving more clicks, engagement, sales. And then again, like Lindy said, brands really are bloggers, not really being referred to as bloggers anymore. I like to think of us as influencers and really being in the face of our brands and standing out and being the people who know that we have the power to make influence and decisions just as much as brands do.
Yeah. What were you going to say,
I was just going to say, do you see that Pinterest gaining or losing in popularity going forward with all of these other avenues?
I personally think that it's kind of here to stay, at least for a little while. I think it's an easy way for people to quickly find what they're looking for. It is a key search engine, if you will, for people. And I think most average, everyday moms really still use it as a source of their go-to for finding ideas.
I think so, too. My mom just joined Pinterest last week. So I think we'll be around for a while. Brands, because it's a great way to be seen and be found, and it's a great way to find your content and organize your content. So I think it's around for a while. Hopefully, I don't monetize it too much, where people kind of
right. They are now.
I think it is. I think it's around.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. I think we're gonna see if we have any questions. Open up the floor if any of our viewers have any questions for us. Let's see if we're loading. So if there's any questions at this time, feel free to submit. Again, we'll be following up with our viewers directly. We'll be sending out a survey to get insights and to hear what you have to say if you're interested in partnering with us in the future. So if you don't have any at this time, that's fine. We can touch base with you again later.
One thing I think I might throw in there is we get an awful lot of comments about DIY weddings, and we don't have a lot of content around that, and that might be an area where that would be of interest because the bride's trying to do it by herself. on the cheap. But you know, I went to a wedding recently where they served cut crystal. I don't think I knew that I was the affiliation to that, but they really had this great rustic outdoor feel to their decorations. But it was simple, but it was quite elegant, and I just know that people are using particularly the wine glasses. We are getting, I bet every other day somebody's emailing us from Costco saying, I need 48 for my wedding in 2 weeks. I need this and that. So some content around weddings would be very helpful.
Awesome. Okay, so we did get one question. Are you planning on doing general content creation projects or holiday seasonally targeted content next year? And really, I think that's a twofold part. You know, our key selling periods are around those seasons. So think 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, those key time periods. But we're always looking to keep our content fresh. So I wouldn't say that we're necessarily tied to it. I think with this new blog, especially, we're going to be looking on updating that on a monthly basis. So we will be looking for content that's not so heavily focused to those holiday periods, and you know, maybe exploring the weddings and some of those other avenues as well. All right.
There was another question here.
Okay.
You showed blogger content on your site. Are bloggers writing directly on your site, or is that content linked back to the blog?
Yes, so we did receive another question. I don't know if any of you heard it, but they were just asking about the process of writing on our blog. Is it going to be directly, are they going to be writing directly on our blog, or is it going to be linked back? And I think we'll explore both of those. If they want it, some of the content we might have that's specifically for our website, so maybe it's more exclusive, but we always look to make sure that our relationship is mutually beneficial, so you know, that you guys are posting that to your sites as well and sharing. So I hope that answers your question, and we can follow up with that more in detail once we get through some of the development process on our end.
There's another question.
Okay.
Does Chinet have one social media team in-house, or do you use agencies to run your social media or digital marketing side?
We use agencies. We use MBB agency as our digital agency.
Yes, but we work really closely together. So yeah. So Julie's a part of the team.
Question, maybe brand or bloggers might be interested. Are you looking at 2016? Are you looking to have blogger ambassadors? Are you looking for bloggers just to contribute to your site? Are you looking for just to go through an ad agency for specific campaigns? How are you looking to work with bloggers in 2016?
You know, we've done a couple of tests this year with account-specific bloggers. So this is funny, but our #1 driver to our Club Chinet is from iHeartPublics. There's an iHeartPublics blog. She's very passionate about it, and she's got a tremendous following. So we're looking now into account-specific bloggers, and then we've also been contacted by a company that has, I don't even know how many bloggers, 200 bloggers in their scope.
So yeah, so we work with them in a variety of ways. You know, I know that, Lindy, we've worked together one-on-one, and so we're still going to continue that. But then we also know that there are more blogger networks out there, and I think that's what Julie's alluding to. So that we've been approached by it, and I know that some of you belong to. So that is also an avenue. But then I think the third part of that is, you know, reaching those retailers and those consumers of those retailers are a big priority for us in 2016. So we will also be looking to see, you know, how can we reach someone who shops at Safeway through our online influencers. And
that's definitely something that the retailer is looking for as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so they want authentic content, but they don't really want it to come directly from them. But if it goes through a blogger who shops there, is passionate about their products, all the better for them.
Yeah. So.
Perfect. Thanks.
I have one last comment for the group. That dads cook too.
Dads do.
Oh yes,
cook
they
too.
do. They
yes,
do.
Nick, I know that you're watching, so that's great. Sorry to make it seem so female specific, but yes, we do have we do focus on males. So thank you. But yeah, it looks like we're running out of time. I know that we have gone a few minutes over, but we started a few minutes late. You know, I hope you've had as much fun as we've had. This is our first time ever doing it, and we hope that maybe we'll continue more of these, just so we can keep those lines of communication open and really connect with you guys. Lindy and Mariah, thank you for joining us. You guys are great. I loved hearing your insight and your comments on everything. So if you guys have any last comments, feel free to chime in. Anybody?
No, just thanks for having us. Happy to be here. You guys are great. They're a great brand to work with. I've loved working with you guys. So
great.
Yes, thank you. We've had so much fun today.
Oh, great. Well, you guys are fantastic, and you guys have been such great brand ambassadors for us, so we appreciate you taking the time. And for all of you watching, we hope to connect with you soon. We're so thankful that you tuned in, and have a great rest of your day, and happy holidays.
Bye.